everyone, Stone here, and as you know, when I was a kid I loved the Muppets. It was one of my goals in life to become a Muppeteer, true story. I even tried looking into puppet college, which was really harder than you think. I mean, there's just something about Muppets that really, they just rock. And so we have this new Muppet movie to look forward to soon, and I'm thinking, you know, a lot of movies are made out of books, so I thought about my top 10 totally absurd books that I think the Muppets should turn into movies. So here we go. Starting at number 10 is going to be War of the Worlds. Yes, that is one of my favorite books of all time, and I think it would be hilarious to see Kermit and the gang on the run from these weird aliens. I also see the part where they make contact for the first time, just really funny, having Gonzo and the aliens debating over the merits of being a whatever. I mean, you got to keep it set in the 50s first of all, and it would just have some really good fun moments in it, especially if the tripods were Muppets as well. Number 9 would have to be a duo. That goes to the Iliad and the Odyssey, two classic Greek works. Now, imagine those Muppetized. It could go back to the glory of their other fantasy movies like The Dark Crystal, but with the Muppet sense of humor. I mean, couldn't you just see all the Muppets crammed into a really small Trojan horse? I mean, I totally could. So for number 8, this is interesting. I really want to see Kermit take on the 7 layers of hell in Dante's Inferno. Nothing says hell like Muppets, right? They'd have to call it Kermit's Inferno, I think, but I'd have a hard time deciding where Statler and Waldorf would be in there, because they'd have to be there, and Sweetums would have to play Death. It would just be an incredibly funny, darkly humorous Muppets movie. Going into number 7 is a book practically made for the Muppets by Robert Rankin. It's called The Hollow Chocolate Bunnies of the Apocalypse. And this book takes place in Toy Town, where a kid and his teddy bear are detectives and they solve fable crimes. And, you know, they have to unravel the mystery behind all these chocolate bunnies that appear at murder scenes. I mean, this would just be a great vehicle for Fozzie to really shine as the detective with bad jokes. Like, you know, Little Miss Muffet's house, he'd be cracking jokes about someone not sitting on a tuffet. You know he would. Number 6 is a book I really, really love, and it's called The Stolen Child. Now, this story revolves around a child who gets lost in the forest and a group of changelings swap him out with one of their own, and he adjusts to changeling life as his doppelganger adjusts to real life. This one would definitely have to be Kermit and Fozzie as, you know, the two that are switched, because, I mean, the jokes would align really well, and they always in the movies play that they're brothers or they're twins as it is, and I just think it'd be really funny to have this totally unbelievable twin thing going on. As for number 5, this is one of more of a broad series of books, and I can't say his name, but I would love and kill to see the Muppets make any of Chuck Palahniuk's books into a movie, like Fight Club. But I really like Rant, and seeing as it's written like a documentary, it's got Statler and Waldorf written all over it, cracking jokes on camera during their interviews about the infamous Rant Casey and his fantastically disturbing life. But of course, who would you want to play Rant? The only one that could is Gonzo, of course. At number 4 is The Jungle. How weird and twisted would it be to see a bunch of animals working in a meat packaging plant? Can't you just see Miss Piggy making bacon and Ralph cleaning up the entrails? I mean, wow. How disturbing would that be? So number 3, which can be pretty funny when you think about it, is Dracula. Please, please, please let Count Von Count play Dracula, and let it just be an over-the-top funny parody of all things vampire. You have Kermit as the vampire hunter, Miss Piggy as the love interest, Count Von Count as the Dracula. It's just too funny to not think about, plus it's such a perfect setup right there. Now, as we round out the final stretch with number 2, I have to think of one of my classic books that I love, which is Lord of the Flies. Can't you just imagine the chanting of Piggy, Piggy, and Miss Piggy's head on a stick? And if you ever saw Meet the Feebles in their Puppet Vietnam, you already see how oddly funny this could be. Muppets stranded on an island and everything goes into chaos. I can already see the Indiana jokes, you know, just coming at mass force when the boulder starts to roll. But last but not least, at number 1 is a little-known book called The Serial Killers Club. The plot of this book is that a man thwarts someone trying to kill him, and he realizes that in his pocket is a business card to the Serial Killers Club, where all the serial killers meet. So he takes on the persona of the killer and goes to this club and figures out how to kill all these serial killers. Now, nothing screams absurd Muppet movies than this book. I mean, it's like Dexter, but with Muppets. And I say, let Pepe the King Prawn be the main character here, taking on the odd assortment of unruly backup characters that the Muppets have. What's not to like?